Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Shady Talk Wednesday. How is everyone doing out there on this lovely sunny Wednesday? I am excited to be here today because I have a special guest with me, Miss Tilted Halo.
Hey, girl,
Hey,
hey.
hey, hey, hey. And as you can see, I wore my lovely t-shirt, The Shade is Real, because I know when we get together and because we are Virgo sisters,
Yes.
I know, we kind of just float. We know how to just kind of get into that convo, we just know it.
It's an entire
We just
vibe,
know it.
sis.
Yes, it's an entire vibe. I love it. I love it. I love it. So how are you today?
I'm hot.
Okay. Okay. Well, guess what? I'm excited to be hot because the way this weather been going, you don't know which way it's up, it's down, it's cold, it's snowing in March and all types of stuff, things that I've never even can remember seeing in those type of months.
Right.
So I'm pretty excited about the weather right now. I'm trying to enjoy it as much as I can. I want to pretty much throw my shade so when the sun comes, I'm prepared.
Yes, ma'am. I told you I was already perusing your website to see which dresses I can add to my summer gear.
Okay.
All right. I am so ready. Me saying I'm hot is not a complaint at all. I'm a tropical person.
Okay.
And I have no problem dealing with this weather transition by layering my clothing.
Okay.
So that's how I typically tend to escape the heat because I'm a queenager,
Okay.
a woman of a certain age, and every
Okay.
now and again, depending on what I eat, I spontaneously combust.
Okay.
All right, so if y'all see me tapping something on my brow, I had some cookies,
Okay.
and my body is saying no.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. You know what? I always love when I hear women say I'm a woman of a certain age. I just feel like when women say that, no matter what age they are, even when they're younger, even when they are older, it just doesn't matter. To me, it feels like you're just expressing some things that you've been through and you know how to handle yourself. You know how to deal with it. You know how to be prepared for what you feel, things that you weren't prepared for once before. Now you know how to catch that.
Yes, ma'am. I promise you, in the journey to finding myself
Okay.
and re-engaging Miss Tilted Halo, the real me,
Okay.
I took some time to study other thought processes, and that actually includes the supreme mathematics.
Okay.
Now, what I came to learn about the supreme mathematics, every number really does signify a crossroad in your life where you
Okay.
should be standing
Okay.
as far as your personal growth and development.
Right.
So I hit 50.
Oh, wow. And you look great for 50.
Thank you, boo.
Can we get an applause for that? Look at 50.
I'm through 50.
I know
That's
that's
because
right.
I drink my water and I really do mind my business. Okay?
Absolutely. So before we get into it, I want to introduce you again. This is Miss Tilted Halo. She's from Red Ink Radio Live. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it or seen it, but you can look inside my link on my Facebook page. All of that will be posted in there so you can follow her. She's also another entrepreneur. She also does another radio podcast. I have actually one time was a guest with her, and I had such fun with doing that with you, being a co-host with you. So it was just a must that I wanted to bring you here and introduce you to my podcast show and putting you on and having you side by side with me.
Well,
Because
thank you.
that's what the love is for.
But of course, and we had that conversation when
Right.
you were on the show with me about the importance of women supporting one another, especially in the entrepreneurial game.
Right.
For years we've been subjected to different reality shows where they really put the cattiness between women on every level, from the bottom to the top, whether you have money or whether you're broke, tired, busted, and disgusted. There's always beef on display. And I promise you, when I had the opportunity to connect with you and Monique and the rest of the gang,
Okay.
it was like I walked into a wall of love, and I was so happy because I promise you, when you connect with women like that, it gives you a superpower.
Yes, yes.
And it kind of like reignites what you did not know already rested inside you.
Right.
So again, before we got on air, I told you I'm socially selective and I'm very cautious about the type of women that I surround myself with and that I connect with on a regular basis because I like to intentionally surround myself with women I would like to be like.
Right.
You know, I don't have a problem being your fan.
Right.
Because your power does not intimidate me.
Right.
All right.
Absolutely. And you know what? Now that we're in that topic, I also enjoyed when I did meet you as well from the play and your voice. You do have a beautiful voice, I must
Thank
say.
you.
And like you said, yes, we did connect. And that's what I'm learning now because I have learned throughout my years of life and experience, just with me being like a young girl and just growing up and being out there on my own at the age of 18, even starting with my own apartment, that, you know, when I have conversations, you know, I try to explain some of my background so people can have an understanding of me. And with me also talking about my background, even with my girlfriend and other people who I communicate with, I've also learned things about me that I didn't know about me. And one of the things that I've learned about me, and it's a blessing and it's a curse, that I'm just a people's person. And I've learned throughout life, like I never really judged anyone. I've always taken people for who they are, how they are. You know, like how you just stated that, you know, you love being around other women because you can feel the depths of the love and things like that. And me, when you a Virgo, let's
Come
just
on.
say, when you a Virgo, we love differently.
Yes, we do.
I honestly believe that we love differently. I feel like the type of Virgo and the type of person that I am, like I always said, my love just always been genuine. I never took the time to get to know a person because once I meet someone, I always just try to connect with them. You know, so but now as I gotten older, I have realized that a lot of that I have to kind of put a wall up now because when I look back, not that I didn't enjoy giving genuine love because I believe that genuine love, and I'm so for girl power. I have always been for girl power ever since I was younger. Before I even got into knowing that I was an entertainer, you know, I've always been very comical. I've always been that girl who's just don't mind going with the flow of whatever everybody else is doing. So, to know that about myself and to know that I've always carried that for years, now I had to really stop and look at, you know, I really had to stop and look at and pay attention to those outlets about me because I've learned with some of those outlets and that giving, genuine person that I am, it didn't set boundaries.
Right.
It didn't set boundaries. And I always say that I don't never want anybody to feel that they need to change up for me, but I do want to feel, just like you said, I want to feel connection with people. I want to feel that, you know, people that I come around, we feel that connection. We're truly for one another, you know, and as I will always say, we all go through things in life, but still as my sister girl, I don't never want to lose a disconnection with somebody who I genuinely love. So I feel like when people could put themselves in those positions to lose that with people, then it wasn't really there.
Right. It was never genuine from the start.
Right.
And I get it. I learned in my life's journey to this point that it is important to establish boundaries with basically everyone that you deal with outside of your immediate family circle because in my spiritual studies, I learned of something called a succubus spirit. Yes, there are people that will come into your life that are really drawn to the light that's inside you.
Wow.
Because like you said, as Virgos, we are natural healers. We're good listeners. And as you said, we typically tend to take people for who they are and who they present to be. But what I had to learn through the power of prayer and understanding, and really developing the gift of discernment to see past the mirage that some people come and present when they step into your presence. My area of professionalism is actually human behaviors.
Right.
Right now, I'm a social services worker. So I have to have the ability to determine on site
Right.
whether you're telling me the truth or where you throwing me a little bit of shade, so to speak, when you're making your request.
Right.
Because people will tell you anything to get what they want.
Right.
So, through all the hours of watching Judge Judy and what's our new favorite, Couples Court,
Okay.
I've learned to hear between the lines and address what's gray to me, because I really don't tend to deal well with gray areas.
Right.
That's actually why there's a Y in Tilted Halo, why I switched that I out, because I have questions.
Right.
And I will question you, and how you answer me will help me establish your motive as to why you're in my life.
Right. And you know what? As I was seeking therapy, and I had another guest on, and I couldn't remember the exact line that she told me, but when I was talking to her about my history and just explaining a few things in certain situations that I've been through, the first thing she said to me, she said, "You sound like a people pleaser." And I said, when I looked over it, because I never seen me as a people pleaser, but she wasn't trying to say it in a bad way. She was just basically saying, like, the way you sound like, how you are so open with people, some people take that as you a people pleaser. And I'm like, wow. So even with connecting with a therapist, I found out that therapy is actually good for you.
Yes, it is.
And what I like about therapy is I always feel like the therapist listens to your history so they could kind of understand and pinpoint where you at on today. And even with talking to a therapist, I feel like, listening to her speaking sometimes, I get it. Some people are not in a place to understand, things about themselves, because some people are so used to who they are. And I just think this time that I'm just in a season, it's nothing personal against anyone, but because I have, listened and learned a few things about myself, I just want to deal with things that works for me. And that was something that I had to learn too, because I would be in situations or just life situations, period. And even when I realized how people have learned to deal with things for themselves and not really put me in, in their life, at first I took it as a bad thing, but I actually grew from it because I had to learn, see how people will put themselves first or whatever it is that they have to deal with, how they have to deal with it, and, why they dealing with, which is not a bad thing because, like I said, some people deal with things how they deal with things. But what I'm saying is what I learned from that is that you have to do that too sometimes.
Yes.
You have to learn how to deal with things that you don't want to deal with. You have to be okay with things that you don't want to be bothered with. And those were things that I just felt like I never really knew how to do because I've always been that on-call person for everybody.
Right.
And I've always felt like, okay, well, I have presented myself to people that even if you don't talk to me, you know that I'm somebody who will be there for you. Rather it's a phone call, rather it's a need, rather it's a conversation, whatever it is. And I've just learned that in this lifetime that I don't have that reciprocation with some of those people. And once again, I feel like the reason why is because I've just been so lenient, not setting boundaries. Everybody got used to this. Oh, well, it ain't, I'll get to it when I get to it. I'll see her when I see her. And, and so I started to take things personal, which I feel like that's another thing that I want to be okay with, taking things personal.
Because it is.
Yeah, it is. And one thing why I say I will sit on that is because of the person that I know who I am for people. And I've learned that with me knowing who I am for people and have been for people, and now that I recognize that I look back and I see like where people are just very sluggish for me. So I feel like once again, that's an outlet that I have allowed people to do towards me and be okay and come back like it's normal. So now I'm learning that I don't want those kind of things to be normal. So I say that to say this. It's nothing personal against anyone because like I said, everybody have to do what they have to do. But the best part about situations when it comes to me that I love when I can learn something from it. You know, regardless what it is, who it is, and that's also another reason why I'm not completely upset with things because when you learn a lesson from something and you learn where it's going to help you grow, it's no need to be upset about it.
Exactly. You pick up the lesson,
Right.
and you continue to go and grow.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Right.
As you were talking, look, I'm going to look in the camera. I want y'all to repeat after me. No is a complete sentence.
Okay.
And that's it. You have to be so in tune with you when you allow yourself to say, no, I'm not going to deal with this situation anymore.
Right.
The way it has been. One of my favorite scriptures, or actually something I've read, because I read a lot, we've heard it said that those who don't know their history are destined to repeat it. And what I've discovered in being a prayer warrior, fighting for my family to reverse generational curses, I had to go back into my history and identify specific areas that I could be the change that I desired.
Right.
I've experienced a lot of what you shared,
Right.
where people, I'm always there for them, but nobody shows up for me. And that left me feeling empty, hurt, and depleted.
Right.
So I took my power back.
Right.
So I get to change the game.
Right.
And we're hearing it said a lot. I'm simply matching energy these days, okay? And what is it? When you move, I move, just like that. How I see you moving, I'm gonna move the same way.
Right.
And of course, you're gonna hear a whole lot of musical references from me because I keep a music catalog in my pocket at all times.
Okay.
Erykah Badu said it. Bag lady, you gonna hurt your bag. Dragging all them bags like that. A lot of times we pick up people's stuff. And we dragging it around thinking we are helping. By helping them, we're helping ourselves. We're showing ourselves to be a huge support system when at the end of the day, that bag was never ours to carry.
Right.
Put that bag down, sis. It don't belong to you. The clothes in it are not your size. They are not designed to fit your personal swag.
Right.
Put it down, sis, and learn no. And learn to say no without an explanation behind it.
Right.
People need to be okay with that.
Right.
You spoke about therapy being okay. Listen, anybody knows me is Tilted Halo because I love me some God, straight up. I believe that Jesus and therapy go together. And that is something that our communities have frowned upon for years. Like, nah, girl, you don't need to go talk to no counselor, even when your doctor has prescribed it.
Right.
No, you don't need to go to counseling. You just need to go to church and pray. Say G, 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 G 500 times. Tarry at the altar and you'll get delivered. But what does that look like for someone who does not understand the process of deliverance? We deliver words. And what comes out of our mouth reveals what's on the inside of us. And sometimes I've personally found that in certain religious spaces, you don't tend to find a lot of safe places to really express exactly what it is you're feeling, because it's a natural habit of the religious person to just throw scripture on top of it.
Right.
And don't give you the understanding.
Right.
So I've personally gone to biblical-based counseling in my personal healing process because I know that there's a scripture in the Bible that will handle every single problem, every single situation that I could face in this life. And I've actually taken some biblical counseling courses myself where I've learned to counsel myself using scripture. And it's more than an emotional feeling.
Right.
It's breaking down the words the way they're written, the syllables, going back into the Greek and the Hebrew to get the fullness of the understanding of what's really being said and how it's applicable to real life today.
Right. And see, that's another thing as far as like touching on that. Like, I'm just going to slide it a little bit in a different way. Let's take Facebook. Like, I've learned with me that with Facebook, sometimes I come across quotes that I feel like I can relate to. But you want a napkin?
No, I got one in my hand, girl. I stay ready so I ain't got to get ready.
Okay.
I told you I spontaneously combust.
Okay. Yeah, so even with social media, I feel like social media is a good thing and social media is a bad thing.
It's a gift and a curse.
It's a gift and a curse. I've realized with me with social media, just with sharing that platform, that sometimes people feel like because I've always been like such a comical person, I think sometimes people always look for me to be like on the comical side. And I will say I do come across a lot of quotes and posts on Facebook that I feel like I can relate to. And I just think that in this society right now and, you know, with this growth that I'm going through, sometimes it can be taken personal. But I also feel like the thing with that is some people don't understand that I feel like I had a life from 18 early. So I've experienced a lot of things, a lot of situations, a lot of people just, you know, over and over again. And why? Because once again, I'm that Virgo who has allowed and accepted and was understanding and had my door open and everything else open to a lot of different things in my life that at those times of me doing those things. And now that I'm connecting with myself, I get to realize some of those things. I get to see some of those things. So I just also think that I'm now at a place at 45 that I'm connecting with myself. And I'm not ashamed to say it, that at 45 that I'm connecting with myself. I'm actually excited.
Yes, isn't it
About
wonderful?
it. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And I feel that, you know, this is something that God wanted me to do. You know, I have met some very beautiful people. I have met some inspirational people. I have came across the girl power that I have been always looking for. And one thing about me, I've always been the type of girl that I do things because I want to bring people with me. And God had to show me, stop trying to pull people to go with you. They don't want to go.
Everybody is not predestined to go with you
Right.
everywhere you are purposed to
Right.
go. And I, too, have learned that I'm a natural teacher.
Right.
And someone once spoke about some kind of apostolic thing. I'm just going to leave that on the table. All right. But I'm a natural teacher, and I have certain people that I mentor that I take with me on purpose.
Okay, we have a caller. I'm sorry. Can we take that call?
Sure.
Hello and welcome. Welcome to Shady Talk Wednesday.
Hello, my dear friend.
Hi.
You don't even know who you're talking to, do you?
No.
I happened to go on Facebook today, and I see that you were having this. I've been trying to catch you, but I've been so busy.
Okay. Is this Miss
The
Georgiana?
old friend of yours that goes back to St. Joe's days.
Denise! Hi, Denise. I miss you. I love you forever and ever. And see what I'm saying? There's just people that you haven't seen in a long time that you just, you know, gonna continue to have that connection with. And I think that's why sometimes I take things so personal with people who sit next to me and don't understand, you know, when you see people who you haven't seen and heard from years that you've planted certain seeds with.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, and they still want to be able to just reach out some way, somehow. Hi, Denise Jones.
Hi, my love. How are you? I just want to say to you, I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
And everything that you have accomplished. I always knew when I first met you.
Don't
that
make
you was
me
gonna
cry,
do something
Denise.
great. I'm already crying.
I
You
know,
I'm
I
an
can hear
emotional
it in
person.
your voice. We did enough of this at St. Joe's.
Yes.
Get me some tissue
But
for
yeah,
her.
Me
I
too, up
really
there.
love your topic that you're talking about, and I know that you have always been a good friend to me. It doesn't matter whenever you and I connect. We haven't talked to each other in a long time,
Right.
but it's just like we can pick up and we could just have a conversation like it was just yesterday. And I really feel like that's true friendship. You know what I mean? Because you have not seen me or talked to me in a while.
Right.
But still, I just know that if I really needed to talk to you, that you are always there for me.
Yes.
You know, and I just want to say that is a great personality and a quality that you have always had, and I admire you so much for that. And thank you for being my friend.
Oh, thank you, Denise. I want to see you.
Yes.
I
You don't
want
want to see me right now. I just got off work.
I want to see you, though. I really,
Yes,
really,
I
we
gotta
need
come
to.
to the Shady shop. You're having a
Yes.
lot of nice things. I got to come through and
Yes.
check you out.
We really need to see each other. But guess what? Even though we don't see each other, it's always good for me to hear people's voices. I know we connect sometimes on social media. So even when I see things like that, I be in my heart like, yes, my peoples are still doing good, even though I don't see them. Because that's what I believe in. You know,
Yes.
I believe it. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, you're a regular 9-to-5 worker. I mean, I'm still human. I still got the same stuff going on too. So just to see my people still just up moving and grooving, you know, and I know, like I said, we all go through things. We do.
Yes.
Everybody, you know, we go through certain things. But one thing I will say is that I love when you always can connect with love. Thank you, Denise, for calling in. I miss you. I love you. We
I love
have
you too,
to
and I'm
connect.
going to definitely make it a point to connect and try to watch your show more often.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
my love. Thank you for having me on.
No, thank you for calling. I knew
Okay.
once I started hearing that tremble,
You knew it was me, right?
already know, because I remember those
Look at you
trembles and
crying.
those
Don't cry,
hugs
T.
that we always did together at St. Joe's Hospital. And I want to thank you, Denise, for allowing me to take my naps. While you went and took care of my patient.
Oh, yeah. We had some good times at St. Joe's.
Yes. Thank you so much for calling in. Kiss the kids. We will connect. I love you,
All right, my
Denise.
Well, you take care and you keep doing your girl thing. I'm right behind you 100%. Sweetie.
I know you are. You are.
Okay. Well, you take care and have a good rest of your evening.
Okay, you too. Thank you for calling in.
No problem.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was beautiful.
I know. I'm such a.
That's all right. While she cleaning up her eyes, I'm gonna tell y'all that was a true heart connection. I
Yes.
felt that thing.
Yes. Oh gosh.
And that's what real friendship and sisterhood is about.
Yes. It's that keeping that connection, and that's why I said I'm standing on how I'm feeling about things this time around, because I know that I have always put out that outlet of a connection with people that it shouldn't be a disconnection.
Never.
It should never be a disconnection.
No matter how near, no matter how far.
No.
If the love is real, if it's genuine, it will never break.
Absolutely.
Will never break.
Absolutely. So, okay. No more tears calling. Any comments? Keys? Any shout outs?
We have Michelle Benson on.
Okay, shout out to my girl Michelle Benson.
We have Nova Warner.
Okay, my cousin Nova Warner.
We have Monique Latisse that says "Speak, sis."
Shout out to Monique Latisse. Comedian Monique
Hey,
Latisse.
girl.
Todd Jackson is watching.
Hi, TA. Let's get back into the big fashion shows. That's it. COVID over. Let's get it.
You said fashion show.
Yes.
You know I got news to share with you.
Oh, you do?
Well, girl, let me tell you. I'm
Look,
mad.
share the news. That's
I'm
what we're here
mad
for.
gifted. I just
Share
want
the
y'all to
news.
know that. And the performing arts have been everything that I breathe all of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I recently went on a model casting call
Oh, congratulations.
to make my return to the runway.
Oh, okay.
See, one thing you may not know is I used to be a professional plus model.
Wow.
Yes, and as you were saying, things happen in life.
Right.
And I had a choice to make. So it was like, look, let me go on over here and tend to my family. Because my girls were still growing, and I noticed, they were doing things because I was always in New York every single weekend. So I had to step down and gone and, resecure my relationship with God and make sure
Okay.
that my household was in order.
Okay.
So now your girl is getting ready to hit the runway
Okay, Miss
once
Tilted
again.
Halo.
Yes, tilted swag, baby, all day, every day.
I know that's right.
I will be modeling in
Okay.
Lehigh Valley Fashion Week out
Okay.
in Pennsylvania, in
Oh,
the Bethlehem
nice.
area. Yes.
Oh, make sure you keep me posted.
Most
I would love to
definitely.
come and see that.
Yes, girl, I'm about to strut and work and
Yes.
work.
You can actually wear one of my apparels coming down.
Girl, because they have the little mixers and
Let's
stuff.
connect,
I told
let's
you I
connect,
was
let's
on the
do it.
internet looking for a dress.
I know that's right.
You know I like my
Listen, let me
dress.
tell you something. The shade is gonna be real all this summer.
Listen.
Listen, we've been stuck in. People been hiding, getting rashes by mask, all of that. We coming out this year.
Listen, I'm ready to go outside. I was outside today.
Yeah.
Gonna be outside some more tomorrow and Friday in
Yes.
that beautiful 70-degree weather.
Yes, let's enjoy it. Let's get it. Let's love on each other.
Get me some natural vitamin D.
Was Josiah and Tiana up there? I'm not sure. Oh, okay. I still want to shout out my daughter Tiana. She has a lash place, Blink Pink in Clifton, New Jersey. I want to shout out my grandson Josiah, who I love so much. My son Ja, he's about to be in his 3rd year of college. He's still an A student. Whoop, 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 whoop. So I just like to shout my babies out, my family out. My mom, my sister. My sister is down in actually Raleigh, North Carolina. She's a caterer. So she's down there doing her thing. Shout out to her. She's putting it, I mean, she started off with strip queen. Now I see her making chicken ziti meatballs. I mean, she done switched the whole game up. So
Listen, you
guess
gotta give
what?
the people what
Sometimes
they want.
you gotta give people what they want. You gotta go where you gonna get it at.
Come through.
So shout out to my baby sis that's out there rocking out in Raleigh, North Carolina on the catering business.
Yes.
Shout out to my mommy, my auntie Judy. I know she's probably watching. My family, my uncle, everybody who's always tuning in, and my followers who loves to connect with me. And the reason why I love the podcast is because I love to talk about topics. I love to talk about things that people could relate to. That's why sometimes with social media, it gets a little mixy, because sometimes even when I put up posts that people could relate to and that I could relate to, this is what I'm here for.
Yes.
This is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about things that people don't want to talk about. It's nothing personal. No. The only thing is that we all can relate.
Yes.
It don't mean it had to happen this time.
Right.
Or happening right now. But, once again, I just thank everybody for who always, come on my Facebook posts and they go with the vibe. I love people who always tell me they come to my page just to have a better day. All of those type of connections. So I love it. But enough about me, because I want to talk about this. I want to talk about
Yes,
the
girl.
depth and the diversity within relationships.
Yes, girl. Yes. The
Let's
book.
talk about the book. Can you tell
Yes.
me a little bit about it? I know you said that you have a chapter in here.
Yes, I believe I'm actually chapter 9 in this book.
Okay. And thank you for my book. I'm
No
definitely going to dig in
problem.
and read
we
into
try
it.
and come bearing gifts.
Yes.
We was raised right.
Yeah. Oh, but wait a minute. I got something for you, too. So this is for you,
Girl, yeah.
for being one of my special guests.
Thank you.
A nice T-shirt with the glitter lips. Go throw your shade in PA
You
for
already
me.
know. You already know.
Yes, throw your shade in
Thank
PA.
you, sis.
You're so welcome. But yes, tell me a little bit about you and about this book. What is it?
The book is called The Depths and Diversity Within Relationship.
Okay.
And the project was actually spearheaded by my girlfriend, Dr. Lamar Renee Spencer.
Okay.
I was connected to her actually shortly after my mother passed away.
Okay.
At the height of COVID.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that
Sorry
part
to
when
hear
they
that.
couldn't find bodies and all that kind of
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
And look at you.
Girl, listen, I'm a whole walking epistle of God's grace. But don't get me preaching on the platform
Okay,
tonight, because I
okay.
sure enough will.
Okay.
Okay? I did not come to preach
Okay,
today.
okay. I'm gonna calm down.
But what
Okay.
we connected while we were actually learning Forex together, and
Okay.
we just clicked. Another Virgo sister.
Okay,
So
wow.
one
Shout
day,
out to the Virgo sisters.
hey, we
Okay.
out here running things and putting things together.
Okay.
But she and I connected, and she started bouncing certain ideas off me, and she asked me my thoughts on this book, and I just shared. Oh, you said that it's a book about relationships. There's so many types of relationships
Right.
that can be discussed, and I just start rattling them off, and then she presented me the opportunity to participate in the project. So I actually took the time to write about my childhood.
Right, nice.
Because some people look at me and they don't think I've ever been through anything at all, you know. And my granny once
I know
told
about
me that to hear me laugh, and she would know some of the hell I would be walking through at that moment. To hear me laugh, you would think I didn't have a problem in this life. But I always tell people that's the joy that comes from God. It's a spiritual gift.
I agree.
And you know, it's evidence of my relationship with my Heavenly Father. So back to this.
Okay.
I wrote my chapter, and it's titled "The Pieces of Me," and I, you know, basically wrote it after listening to a sermon titled "What's in a Name." I mean, I legit had something else written; it was a whole different flow, but I literally got a download in church. So I came home, pulled out my laptop.
Okay.
3,000 words later.
3,000 words later.
3,000 words later, I was able to see how God had divinely ordered my steps to bring me to the place where my chapter in the book actually ends. I delivered my mother's eulogy.
Nice.
Because,
okay.
again, there was no roadmap on how to funeralize and memorialize someone that way, you know. Had limitations. I found grace that a good friend of mine down at Bragg Funeral Home was the person who handled the situation for me. He's like my brother.
Okay.
So I was able to organize an outdoor ceremony, graveside, so that more of the family could come and honor my mother in her passing. But a whole lot of hell broke loose in my family. All right?
Okay.
And, you know, it was like, wow, y'all ain't even call me and offer me any condolences. First question y'all want to ask is, did she have insurance? So I shut up. And that became my no.
Okay.
How disrespectful. So I took the time, and God began to show me through the names of my foster mothers
Wow.
how he had actually ordered my steps. My name is Nikita. My name means victorious people. And I wrote it in the book, and I'm going to paraphrase my own writing and saying, I found it absolutely amazing that somewhere on the inside of her, my mother chose to name me Nikita. She named me Victory. So as you were saying, what? You went through that? Look at you. Exactly. My mom gave me a name that fit what God purposed me to do. Walk through everything victoriously. My pastor, the great minister Selena Brown, every Sunday in service, he challenges us to acknowledge that we are winners.
Right.
So yes, honey, I don't lose. And even though there was some darkness in my growing up process, I'm able to look back and see that the scripture that tells us that everything works together for our good, it really does.
Yes, I believe that.
It really does. Early in our discussion,
Okay.
I was talking about the life lessons that you pick up
Right.
as you grow.
Right.
I don't begrudge my time in foster care. A lot of people look at foster care, oh, that's bad, it's abuse, and it's hurt and neglect. That's not my testimony.
Right.
God managed to make sure I got placed in some households where there was some strong, educated African-American women
Right.
who saw the little broken girl, but they also saw the gifts within me,
Right.
and they began to nurture them. One of my last foster mothers, her name is Essie Gilchrist. I acknowledge her at every chance I can. She's still alive, We still communicate, and she's still living right there doing her thing in Stockton, California. That AKA, anyway, that AKA took this little girl and made sure I got some counseling. And then she encouraged me to sing.
Okay.
She saw it. So, baby, I've sang in every kind of choir there is. Show choir, community choir, special citywide choir. And then through high school special ensemble, I was the vocal ensemble. I was the only freshman allowed in that group for the first time ever.
Wow.
Because I, of course, had the same vocal instructor from the time I was in 6th grade all the way through high school.
Sorry, not to cut you off. You know what I love about that? Even with you going through what you've been through, I love how you can still be grateful and thankful. You know, and that's why sometimes I feel like, you know, some people don't understand, because I had things that I've been through too in my childhood. My mom actually wrote a book. I'm just waiting for the book to get done, because my mom has a past, which
She
I'm
better
her
tell her.
past. And I actually when the book is done, I'm gonna do a play.
Yes.
So I think I'm gonna need your voice.
Call me, girl, because you know I act too. I was on that stage last year, Juneteenth, as one of the players in the play.
So that's definitely one of my next moves that I plan to do, is to get my mother life, which I'm in it, my, you know, just my mother life history out there. My mother been fighting hard to get this book going, and it talks about, you know, her past and things like that. But what I was saying was, even with me going through certain things in my life and my past, I don't regret it. I don't regret it. So when I hear your story and how you're able to talk about foster care, and you're able still to come here and be who you are, and, you know, just have that type of soul and personality that you do have, this is why I know and I believe that everybody don't have to take everything in their life and be so hard on yourself about it.
Yeah.
Because the best thing about that is learning to understand the process of things that has happened, that you don't have to really weigh yourself down, and also to know that you're not alone. Someone else been through something else worse than you.
Exactly.
And if they can get by, so can you.
And that's why I wrote what I wrote as an encouragement.
Right.
I mentor some young adult women, even at this point in my life.
Nice.
And when they share their secrets with me, they know I'm Fort Knox. Everything they telling me is going to the grave.
Right.
Point blank, period.
That's how it goes.
But I let them know that you shouldn't have any shame.
Right.
There is no shame in anything that you've done.
Absolutely.
And then we have conversations about healing and forgiving oneself.
Right.
And exactly what grace is and how powerful it is. We always say we want to extend grace to other people, but we often fail to extend grace
Within
to ourselves.
Right.
We beat ourselves up for the smallest little things that we think we've done wrong.
Right.
But again, God has a unique way of turning that around and making even your mistakes work in your favor. That's been my testimony, and again, that's my favorite scripture.
I love that.
You
I love
overcome
that.
by telling your story.
I love that.
So, mommy, please write that book.
Oh yeah, it's definitely, it's written. It's getting packed up right now. So I'm definitely going to be getting prepared for that. But I'm definitely going to read this book and let you know my intake on it.
Yes, I've gotten a few text messages from people who've read my chapter, and they're like, "Wow, what?" they were like, "But this don't match what we see."
Right.
I'm like, "Baby, again, I'm a testament of what God can do when you acknowledge Him, and in your good and in your bad and in all of your ugly." Real talk.
Okay.
Because there were some things that I was doing and some past that I found myself going down where nothing but a Savior could help me.
Right. Wow.
So I had to learn to pray and be real transparent with God, because He already know I don't hold no secrets from God. I talk to Him about all of me. Nothing is withheld. And that's when the healing process really began and really truly took root, I had to do the work.
Yeah, I've also learned with me now, in these days of time, I've always prayed, but I find myself praying more. And what I like about now with praying more and being even vulnerable to God and, talking to him about things, I feel like my days sometimes are so much better.
Yes.
I feel like, because like I said, we all go through stuff. We all deal with our emotions, our feelings, and sometimes we can't help it because we're human. And I know with us being Virgos, as we always talk about, we deal with a lot of things internally.
Yeah.
I even had to find that out about myself, that I didn't know that I was a person who deal with things internally. But my internally dealing of things was because I thought that, just dealing with other things, which I thought was just being understanding or just, being caring and putting my feelings to the side to be okay with other people's feelings. I'm now learning how to feel how I want to feel,
Right,
and be okay with it.
Yeah, because anything else is actually considered emotional abuse.
Right.
And people
Right.
don't realize you can emotionally abuse yourself
Right.
by denying yourself your true feelings.
Right.
It's okay to feel it.
Right.
In order to recover from
Right.
it. So, we naturally find distractions. Oh, let me keep myself busy. This way I ain't got to deal with this voice inside my head telling me to go left. Mm-hmm. And I'm listening to the voice, mm-hmm. right? And I'm going left. And the next thing you know, I'm in a deeper ditch than I was in when the whole situation started.
Right.
I had to acknowledge me.
Right.
In order to get better.
And that's the thing, too, that I feel like once you understand yourself, you can understand things about yourself a little better. Like I say, no one is perfect, but I just feel like once you dig into yourself and you realize some things about yourself, you'll know how to deal with things a little different.
I own it, and I allow people to be exactly who they are, and I legit stopped expecting myself from everybody else.
Right. That's exactly what I'm doing. I had to learn that too, to allow people to, be themselves. But also too, I had to realize that just because people are who they are doesn't mean I have to deal with, how they are as a person.
Exactly.
So I'm just happy that you were able to come here and share this platform with me today. Like I always tell you, since you know me, I love girl power. I love to invite guests here, women, men, to talk about what they have going on, to be able to have these kind of conversations that we can relate to. We can, speak to other women. Hopefully that other women will, relate to what we're talking about, or I'm quite sure they can relate to what we're talking about. So a lot of my shows here, that's exactly what I plan to do. I do also plan to keep the humor going, but I also want to dig deep with some women, because I feel like, even with this pandemic, which was a bad thing as far as what has happened, but it was a good thing for me because it helped me really got a chance to dig into myself and to understand me, because I don't want to go around blaming people,
right?
For, some actions or some things that I dealt with, or I've accepted, or I've been good to, or I've been understanding to, because even in the midst of all that, I had to stop and say, Tawana, but what are you doing? Why are you allowing? What makes you do those things? Why are you so comfortable with giving those things? Why are you so used to doing things without reciprocation, appreciation, a regular thank you? Like, even just experience certain things of just, trying to be such girl power to put other people on, and you don't even get a thank you. Like, I could never imagine, like, just me sitting here with you today and, just us having this conversation that we're not going to really talk again. We're not going to communicate again. Like things like that, I feel like people, do. Like, So,
Yeah.
you know, those kind of things, like I said, I'm just in a season that I just want better for myself.
That's it. And
I
there's
don't want to
nothing
blame
wrong with
nobody
that.
else. I want, you know, I'm not trying to change anybody. I'm just at a place right now. I just want to, I want things better for myself because I want to continue to elevate.
Yeah, and
You
girl,
know?
let me tell you, I'm proud of you too because I have watched you from the day I met you. And we had some conversations, and I said some things, and I believe they were a little helpful and encouraging to you.
Yes, definitely.
And I see where you are now. You know, you went through transition even in your business. And look at how God has expanded you in your
Thank you.
vision. I'm proud of you, girl.
Thank you. And I love it.
I know you do.
I love it. I love it. Even though I be drained, I be tired. I love all of this that I'm doing.
Exactly.
And
It's worth it.
And to be honest with you, even with me being in business, what I love about it too the most is it's girl power.
Yes.
It's girl power.
For
I love
every
the girl
time
power.
you pay a bill, girl power. Because you're able to. You know, and again, there's someone watching you.
Right.
And they're taking notes.
Right.
And they're going to implement what they saw the lovely Miss Shade do.
Absolutely.
And they may actually find their way to you.
And I'm okay with that.
And that's exactly right. We should be okay being the teachers for the next generation. And even for women that might be a little bit older than us that don't have the information that we have. I told you when I met you, I was like, girl, you going to help me. I don't know if you necessarily understood what I said to you in that moment, but you have helped me.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, re-engage the spirit of even my jokes and my laughter. Listen here, I'll be bugging. All right? And you can hear it a lot on my show. And somebody was like, you should try comedy. I'm like, nah, that's not my lane.
I had such a good time on the Tilted Halo show. What was that little what do you want to call it that we used to say? You had us saying what's your caption? You have a caption that you used
I
to
got
say.
a lot, girl. And so
Oh,
much has
what was
transitioned
it?
since then. Right now,
I'm trying to think.
I'm a
Oh.
whole joy tsunami.
And even I have, even with learning myself, I have realized that I'm just the type of person that can't remember
That
things.
girl, listen here.
I'm telling you.
I'm a queen
realized that
agent.
about
Brain fog is real.
when I look back at stuff, I'm like, I had a lot. I'm telling you, I'm just turning this thing on. I'm
Listen,
serious.
I started writing stuff down, right? Especially now when I do my shows. Because I'm like, yo, what did I talk about? And go back and reflect on it. I'm like, okay, cool. So I don't do repeat performances, so to speak. I'm always trying to produce something new. And girl, look, start writing it down.
You know what? Here's the thing. I write a lot.
Girl.
I'm telling you, it's just something fault.
I listen.
I'm telling you, I had to learn. I got
This
it.
phone.
I don't know if I had it turned on and had it turned the other way, but
It was still on.
it was on. But it just, I don't know if I didn't have it completely up.
In reverse. Just,
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but now I'm like reversing and clicking it the other way because
it's
I think
all
I
good.
had.
We talked about a lot. We talked about a lot, and I do recall saying to you, "I'm your sister."
Yes, I do. Now that I do remember,
And I will always be here for you.
and I appreciate
And
that.
I will always show up for you.
I appreciate that.
If it's within my ability.
Right.
Half car will travel. I ain't scared of these gas prices. The Lord is a provider, amen? Come on.
Listen, I'm still listen. See, and this is how I know things still ain't clicking. Cause I'm still pulling up at the gas tank saying, "Let me get 10 regular," just
Girl,
to
bye.
come back in another 2 hours and say, "Let me get another
You
10
go
regular."
around the corner and coming right back here
I said,
with $10 worth
"Shoot,
of gas.
once I put $20 in the gas, don't nothing happen but the light go off."
Listen.
Come on, Tawana, you got to turn that thing on. You got to turn that thing on. You got to get out of what you used to. You got to turn that thing on.
Yeah, because it's gotten a whole lot of real
Yeah, it absolutely
for a
has.
whole lot of folks. You know, I'm sitting in social services dealing with people's issues, trying to help them resolve them every single day. And baby, I got stories for days.
Wow.
I'm trying to figure out a way to write these things down and share my memoirs of like a human services worker and change the names to protect the innocent and the
Guess
guilty.
what? That's the only way I know how to do comedy. I only know how to do reality comedy. I tell people all the time, I don't know how to talk about what happened to the chicken that crossed the street, because I don't know any of that.
Exactly.
I only know how to talk about what is going on and turn it into humor.
Listen,
That's it.
Half this stuff is a true life.
Because black people, to be honest with you, we funny in our own way. We are very
Telenovela.
comical. We
Girl.
are. I love my black people. We are very comical in our own way.
Turn sorrow into some of the best jokes in life. Listen, like that one time they had turned off my electricity, and I figured out how to make me some leavened bread. Amen. Listen, because everything was electric in the house, we
Okay.
just got creative. And my daughter was funny. She was like, "Mom, we Amish. Don't even trip." And that's how we got through it.
Okay.
And
okay.
continued to laugh. And we laugh about that now. It's like, yo, remember that time we was Amish? It was a whole season.
Because sometimes something not good could still turn into good when you think of the humor about it.
Shoot, I learned how to bake bread without milk, without eggs. Listen.
Oh, we gonna put something together.
We gonna
we
eat.
ain't gonna starve.
And we gonna live.
We gonna find something.
Listen, and I had some charcoal. I said, if it get that real, I got a grill. You will be served. And it's gonna be delicious.
Right. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming out and sharing my platform with me today.
No problem. Thank you.
I just appreciate it. Thank you all for everyone who continue to follow me. I would like you guys to go to the YouTube page and subscribe, because soon I'm just going to be doing this on YouTube. I'm not going to be doing it too much Facebook Live. I try to do a Facebook Live, just to keep the connection with, some of my followers, so they kind of know, what's going on. But also, listen, any entrepreneurs, anybody that's out there grinding, doing it, getting it, want to come up here and talk about it, put yourself out there, feel free to email me at Ms. No shade but shade at gmail.com. Also, feel free to check out my website at noshadebutshade.com. Also, feel free to come shop in the Shady Shop. I'm in Garfield, New Jersey. So I want to thank you all for tuning in with me. Continue to tune in. I'll be here every third Wednesday of the month, giving you a hot topic, bringing you a live interview. So I just want to thank you all for just tuning in with me. You want to say anything, give any information, Miss?
Well, you all can follow me on Instagram
Absolutely.
and Facebook. I'm even trying to get into the little TikTok. I finally figured out how to use it.
Okay.
I am Tilted, TYLTED_Halo, HALO, on every single platform. If you're interested in listening to my show, you can download the app. Miss Shade here will make sure you all have the necessary information to download the app. I broadcast every single every single Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. with my good girlfriend and co-host Karen Sims, who is an in-house master life coach. So I have one of my own personal coaches as my co-host.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, girl, because I'm silly and I'm crazy, but she keep me sane.
Okay. You need somebody to keep you sane.
Yes,
you need
ma'am.
somebody. We all need it. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. If God's will, we will see you again every third Wednesday of the month. Thank you for tuning in to Shady Talk Wednesday podcast.